What's that?
It's perfect.
You want to see that guy?
Wow. Oh, wow, bud.
Let's go, babe.
Oh, yeah, bud.
Midweek. We good. We're ready.
Wow. Happy hump day. I think it's hump day. I mean, I've been humping. I mean, it's hump day. Good morning. Gundy with the
Morning.
yo-yo. I see you, brother.
Let's go. It's been humping
Good
in
morning.
the Crypto Nation.
Crypto Nation.
Absolutely.
Say that in Spanish, Jaime. Do it.
Crypto Nation. La Nación Cripto. Para eso
Crypto.
estamos.
I love that rolled R. So I'm the Data Lord. This is Jaime, and we are missing our names on the screen because I made a different video earlier, and I'm embarrassingly turning it on now and narrating what I'm doing.
Yay.
So, welcome to Decentralized TV, Crypto and Coffee. We talk about crypto, we drink about coffee, and this is to you, buddy. It's to you.
Absolutely. Is it cold or hot tea?
Oh my guy, that is hot coffee.
Absolutely. And the news are getting hot too.
You get these little sleeve situations, burn your hands even if you're drinking in a pint.
Wow. Good morning, Just Bossy. Always good seeing you.
So it was really, really rainy and hail and stuff last night, and so I slept like crap. So if I'm all a little off, there you go. My gift to you.
I sleep well during storms, man. Like a baby.
Not when your dogs are upset.
Oh, going crazy? Okay.
They know. So let's look at the markets, shall we? We have a bit of an up on Bitcoin, 1.5%, which is good and expected. And we were going down for a little bit. You see this little sine wave in the 7-day pattern. Not a surprise. Ethereum, same thing, 1.8%. Little Brother's actually up a little bit more than Big Brother at the moment.
Yes.
I think Ordinals has a lot to do with that.
And if it stays this way, that means our little altcoin pump and Ethereum pump is nigh. So be ready.
That's right.
We just got to wait for confirmation, guys.
That's true. And then XRP feeling the news. It's vibing. Dogecoin's up a little bit. It's vibing. Yesterday was pretty bloody, so it's not a shock that today's up a bit. People are like, yeah, that was a little too far. Solana, same thing. Polkadot, same thing. Litecoin, 3.2% up. So, hey, girl. Look, I'm telling you, Litecoin's low on this list. It should be high on your paying attention list. Litecoin's in an exciting period of time at the moment. And what's Monero doing? I shouldn't throw shade at Monero. I should always pay attention to it because Monero's a little sweetheart. Monero's chilling, 0.8%. So,
hey, is PP within the top 100? I had read an article.
PP got a little limp earlier. I mean, we can certainly look at LPP.
There it is, number 57, according to that. You see it?
What's happening to our poor PP?
Guys, this is Russian roulette right here.
Yeah, we peaked, and unless there's some other memery, it done. Jaime, let's take a look at some charts though.
Let's do this, baby.
I'm just since today's not super exciting.
It is exciting on the high time frames. We are seeing some confirmation. So
yeah. I was simply going to say we'll buzz through these just to keep up. But yeah, on the 1 hour, you can see we clearly had this nice green up. But I don't yet see a good solid trade position just yet. If you're looking at entering specifically a month-long Bitcoin trade, I couldn't tell you right now if a month from now Bitcoin's going to be up or down. I don't have a sincere confirmation that it'll be one direction or the other. Jaime will get into that from the macro.
Yes, but that's the rule, guys. What Brandon Data Lord just said is, if you do not have a clear path, don't enter into a trade. You look for where the odds are in your favor. So that's great perspective, Data Lord.
Katniss Everdeen, may the odds be ever in your favor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, ever in your flavor. What's your flavor? That's the question. So again, looking at Polygon Matic because that's one of the big boys I'm paying attention to right now. And yeah, I am trading this. We looked good here. It went lower, scooped a little bit more bag, but on this trade here, I am up currently, but it's not significantly up at the moment. But I expect all this upside. Look at this upside. Like we got plenty of upside. If you were to look at that on days, like bro, it like breaks the charts. Like we got upside. We're right here. We got upside.
Absolutely. It
But,
looks like a higher low too.
yeah,
Or lower in this case.
I entered here, so on more of a macro chart, you can
Yes.
see we got room. We got room to play, boy. So looking over at Litecoin as well, because Litecoin, I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face, and you're going to make some money because you're paying attention to. Litecoin has a halving coming up in 80 something days, and what that means is right around the middle of June, 2 months prior to that halving, historically we've had a really big run up. So I don't know that history will repeat itself, but there's a good chance it will look pretty similar. So man, this looks like good. Yeah. So Litecoin's way down here. We have all this freaking upside. This could really get wild, and I'm telling you, we have a pretty short window to pick up. We are in May right now, and middle of June is when we expect to see big moves. So, we're confirming some of this printing support right around these key levels in here, and maybe lower, but this is accumulation. So get in while the getting's hot, and you're likely to see quite a bit of upside in near months to come. Not financial advice, not trading advice, but this is really how I'm thinking about it and how I'm looking at it. So if you're interested in looking at the charts and seeing if you're persuaded in the same way and maybe making some money or not on your side, you let the dice land where they may, shall we? Jaime, if you would go ahead and whip it out, Wapa.
Sure, let's do this. Here it comes. Boom.
Prepare yourself.
We are on it, so it's looking green for today. This within the last hour is where it's flipped for the overall market, and this is what we're looking at on the weekly. On the weekly, of course, we are looking at the 200 moving average as the floor of this pullback for the recharge that we're seeing. On the stochastic RSI, we're already seeing it level off. The big question is it just going to tap it and continue down, or will it cross up? And then we now have a nice reattempt at the top. So far, it is looking good. These are being bought up as it's descending. Worst case scenario, we will see at the 26,200 on the weekly basis for at least a nice bounce as we're seeing it now in the middle of nowhere. Not really nowhere. We actually tested this bottom bodies. You can almost see how Bitcoin slightly wicked below it, but now it's staying above, which is a good sign in the short term. Now, the big question is, will we test this before the run up? I see it likely to do so. Now let's zoom in on the lower time frames. We are now going to the 3-day. That's the lowest I'll look at for entries. And as long as Bitcoin stays above this 27,200 area, it's a likely trend, or it's a likely event that we will see an attempt to hit 31,800, about 32,000 before we see the pullback. Now, if this week closes below this level, the 27,200, we go below it, that would be a confirmation that we will now retrace down. How far down? That's where we would see the 50 moving average is sitting currently at around 24,100. If we zoom back out to the weekly, we're looking at a 26,000. So I would say if we break on the lower time frames, we break this 27,200, 26,000 is the more likely level where we come down and tap it for a return up. If we do not, if we stay this week, the next 3 days, we stay above 27,200, I would say it is likely we at least attempt a run up to either the median of this rising channel, which is 30,700, which is a double top, or we sprint all the way up to the 200 moving average, which is sitting at around 31,700. So these by Friday, we will have clarity on what will happen by the end of this week. So stay tuned and we'll give you an update. But at this moment, we are looking at a slight, a good floor. It's not concrete. It's more of wood at this moment. The concrete floor to me for a bounce is down here at the 26,100 area, where we would tap it as confirmation of support on the 200 weekly moving average. So that's where we're sitting at this moment. And how do we know? By this weekend, Sunday night, we will know for sure if it's going to reattempt a top at around 32,000 more or less, or will we run down and recharge the batteries at 26,000 level where the 200 weekly moving average is sitting at. Those are the two directions. We're in the middle, and that's why you're seeing a little bit of hesitation of, okay, where will this go? It's because we're in the middle. So you don't make decisions in the middle. Either you make a decision at the top where you're confirming resistance and you short, or if you're not into shorting, you just move to cash. And if you're tapping a floor, you buy into it with the expectation of running right back up to another significant level. In this case, it would be around the 30,000 level. So that would be a nice, from 26,000 to 30,000, a good $4,000 move where you could stack your sats at that point, if you are into swing trading. Otherwise, the safest bet for anyone else, and for me too, is dollar cost averaging every Friday or Sunday, whatever day you choose to do so. And that's it.
Yeah, and again, this needs to go without saying, but I think it's valuable for everyone to hear it. Your trading really should be separate from your DCA. The purpose of DCA is you have some amount of crypto you buy every paycheck or every Friday, just to average it even more. You don't get paid, biweekly. You do a little bit for every Friday or so. And the idea here is that DCA prevents you from having that pocket get wailed on by your emotions. Right. So when it looks like it's going high and you feel like FOMO, when it looks like it's going low and you feel like you need to buy in and it goes lower, and then you have a broken heart and you have to call your doctor and say, doctor, my blood pressure is really high. He's like, are you trading crypto? And he's like, yeah.
Stop trading crypto. Stop jumping on the bed, monkey.
He's like, you should try DCA.
Good
Doctors love it,
doc.
Yeah. So that's my recommendation, though, is like, and this is tried and true and wise. All financial advisors tell you to do this if you're interested in an asset, that you just play the middle. Play the middle like a fiddle. You just DCA and you don't let emotions mess with you. And
you pick
that's how 401ks grow too.
Absolutely. And you pick assets that you know have value. So do your homework, like metals, like Bitcoin, like, any hedge against the current financial system is where I'm dollar cost averaging. So that's a good way of entering.
Yeah. And so anyways, I want to say what's up to everyone. Also, this GIF has got me cracking up. It's hump day. No, it's Wednesday. Stop. Nobody calls it hump day. Stop.
Bro.
I'm cracking up because this beagle's just, the little lip is too much. But yeah.
I can tell you're a dog lover, brother.
Gundy with the yo, I see you, brother. Good morning, Just Bossy. And Gundy's saying, don't sleep on that chicken LTC, little chickum.
That's right.
Tony Vale in the house. I see you, brother. Also, I like your dog. Tell your dog I said hi. We got Ann saying wapa.
Wapa.
Whipping out wapa. Yeah, that's right. We got Boston CEO. I see you, brother. Good morning. You know what day it is? Do you know what day it is? Hump day? No, it's Wednesday. Nobody calls it that. Stop it. Oh, it's too good. And Indo, what's up, brother? You're always cheerful. You're always here in the morning.
He's a builder, guys. Everyone here is a builder.
DCA all day.
The way.
All the way.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, I'll get this like hump day joke off the screen because that's been cracking me up. I've been laughing at that low key all day. Man. Look, I you know what, you love it. I'm gonna break the rules today, and we're just gonna read headlines.
Let's break those rules.
You understand that? You understand that? Why I do
that?
They
make rules to break them.
That's why we go yeet. So look, we this isn't new news, but this is worth talking about, and I haven't had a chance, and I still got Gunny on the screen. Boy, I'm messing up. So I want Jaime and I to really discuss this with the whole channel, and discuss what this means, because in my report I didn't really get to that. I just wanted to get the news out there. So Bittrex crypto exchange files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So the Bittrex crypto exchange officially filed for bankruptcy in Delaware on Monday. This comes just under a month after the Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, accused Bittrex of disregarding security rules over the course of multiple years. I mean, is that not true for every crypto exchange period? Because the SEC is giving like half-baked security.
Bro, look at Coinbase. Anyway. They've been working with the SEC, and they got a Wells notice. So
yeah, so after disregarding, like, pump the brakes on that one. But
yeah, it's not disregarding it. I'm sure they have. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to operate in the United States.
Yeah. So I call nuance, you know, to this right here. We got more details than just
it's another bully moment.
Bittrex bad. Yeah. So Bittrex has an estimated $500 million to $1 billion in assets and liabilities, according to a court filing. In addition, two other Bittrex companies, Bittrex Malta Limited and Bittrex Malta Holdings, also filed for bankruptcy protections in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the District of Delaware Monday. Last month's lawsuits from the SEC alleges that Bittrex was operating in unregistered broker and unregistered clearing agency. Okay, bud. You give me directions in the middle of them. How does that sound? A market share of U.S. support nearly 23% in 2018. Bittrex hasn't eclipsed 1% since 2021. And I'll give you a little bit of colored commentary on this myself. Like, I really liked Bittrex before Binance really showed up. Binance out of nowhere just had a ton of development in their application when their mobile app came out. A ton of people were like, yo, the Bittrex has the best website, but if we can actually use stuff on our phones, like, I'm going to do that, because I'm not always in front of my personal computer. Sometimes I'm at work or I'm at the gym or something. And yeah, I check my, you know, crypto, and if I want to make a trade or something, the website's janky. So having an app is really dope for that. So mobile app when Binance did, and I really liked Bittrex until mobile became the expectation. And so yeah, I really, it's kind of bitter to hear this news here, but the Bittrex crypto exchange bankruptcy comes alongside other exchanges' recent issues with lawsuits, most recently including Bitflyer, which no one cares about. Bittrex has yet to publicly comment on the recent file for bankruptcy. So, I mean, Jaime, what's your take on this whole story here?
Yeah, SEC is fulfilling its mission, destroying the crypto space without any legislation and without any accountability, where they're clearly at least telling the market what is a security. Is it a security? Is it not? Do you have a license? Do you not? And just like Indo just mentioned, Brian, the CEO of Coinbase, is flexing back in this. So instead of going into bankruptcy like Bittrex, Coinbase is going, and he's been traveling Dubai and all over the place where the regulation is friendly, and when there's a lot of investment into the industry. So it's sad to see Bittrex go down like this. Literally, it was another shot across the bow. First, they took out the on-ramp and off-ramps to the crypto space, which are Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, and everything that's attached to those banks. Of course, they had to sell themselves to the devil, and they could not sell the crypto side of it. So this is clearly the next steps. So now, first you take off the on-ramp, off-ramps on the fiat side, banking side, and now you take down the exchanges. And Bittrex, sadly, is one of those where it just got shot in the head and it's done. Like, and they're taking down, in the case of Bittrex, sadly, instead of just taking down the U.S. side, they're taking down their transnational side. So it may be the more responsible thing, so they can pay back their clients and the debtors, their investors.
Don't FTX it, yeah.
Exactly. And not open up the books, and it was a complete scam like FTX and SBF's leadership. Good job, SBF. And have... it just angers me, the fact that
say it.
It just angers me. Where did you see SBF even filed for a dismissal of all the cases because he declared not guilty himself? Like, he filed for not guilty. It's like, bro, you got to have a court to be able to come to that decision. Don't keep pushing it. So, and then him and Uncle Gary from Gensler had all these this meeting prior to the downfall. So it's like, okay, what happened there? It's all this it's clearly an attack on the entire industry from the United States side. And that's where we have to be aware. Bittrex, sadly, is the next one. So just watch it. And by the way, guys, we had been saying, move your, if it's not your keys, not your crypto. Bittrex is another example. Despite their good intentions, SEC and other organizations can take it down. So even though they may not have intended to rug, they were forced to close. So now if your value was stored on the exchange, you'd be stressed at this very moment. But if you use the exchange for its purpose, which is exchanging, then you do the transaction, bring it back to your wallet. So keep that in mind. Even Binance, which is an organization I've seen has built it correctly the entire time, you're seeing a huge pressure going on. And even though personally I support what they're doing, you still should have it as a habit, your crypto in your wallet, not in a public exchange. And Bittrex is that example.
Yeah, and that's why we got this Dirty Shovel gang. For those who might be new, the idea is, if you have your own keys in your own possession, they're on some sort of cold storage, people have to literally come and fight you. And you got a dirty shovel because, who knows? Maybe I buried it in the yard. You don't know. What else did I bury in the yard? You don't know. You want to fight me?
Let's go.
It's a bit of a joke about literally fighting somebody, Little Nicky style, with a dirty shovel. My brother hit me in the face with a shovel. So, anyways, so Sam Bankman-Fried wants 10 charges dropped, not guilty on all accounts. What a guy. I mean, his lawyer probably told him just try it, but it looks smug as hell in the public eye.
It really is.
Yeah. SBF is looking to drop 10 of the 13 criminal charges. So not all of them. Look, there's still 3 criminal charges. I'm saying, okay. Due to a classic rush to judgment. So he's basically trying to kind of play like crime of passion. Like, look, I just made a quick decision, like,
yeah.
So I guess whatever. See if I can get this. Oh yeah, look at that. You got to zoom in, then ads go away. So nice. Takeaways. Sam Bankman-Fried wants 10 of them dropped.
Of 13.
So yeah, you're crazy. Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO and founder of collapsed crypto exchange FTX and research group Alameda Research, seeks to have 10 criminal charges dropped because rather than wait for traditional civil and regulatory processes following their ordinary course to address the situation, the government jumped in both feet, improperly seeking to turn these civil and regulatory issues into criminal crimes. Run-on sentence, according to the first motion to dismiss submitted on May 8th.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the CEO trying to unravel all this, the old Enron CEO is like, bro, clear fraud all the way. And yet
Max
this
bidding.
Max bidding. Like, this guy had no shame. No shame.
No. The former CEO's legal team added 2 more counts to be dismissed, were added on May 8th, and is seeking dismissal based on the redundancy of charges. Okay, redundant charges can be a thing. You know, you can have like first-degree murder, manslaughter, reckless endangerment. You're like, if murder's on the list, do the other 2 really need to be? Right?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, they really want to bury the person, you keep the other charges open. So if one fails, at least you catch them on the other.
Sure, and that's exactly why they keep them open. But you know that's like if you have what is it? Burglary is both armed assault and breaking and entering. You know, it's like breaking and entering, assault, battery. You have all these like assault and battery. Well, yeah, that's where they go together. Oh, okay. I'm sure Tam's got all sorts of
and just
on that,
too, I'm sure is aware.
Yeah. So the former CEO's legal team added 2 more counts to be dismissed, were added on May 8th, seeking dismissal based on the redundancy of charges. The Southern District Court of New York received the motion of dismissal for all charges except for 3 counts: conspiracy to commit commodities fraud. I mean, casually, as one does, right?
Even Ellison was saying, yeah, that's one of the objectives she wanted was, it's like, guys, she even said it. And now she's not even mentioned in these cases anymore. It's all SBF.
As one does. Conspiracy to commit securities fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. At least the money's clean, you know. Sponsored by Downey, right? The legal team brought up one charge: conspiracy to defraud the United States. Oh no. Like, this is a casual, based on a violation of campaign funding laws. Like, I'm gonna scream. And wants to be dropped because extradition was granted solely on the first 7 counts referenced in the diplomatic note, not the final count for conspiracy to defraud the United States and violate the campaign finance laws. SBF's lawyers argue that none of the factual allegations are supporting that charge. Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
The official court document detailing why charges should be dropped read, Mr. Bankman-Fried had not defrauded anyone nor intended to defraud anyone, which his friends disagree.
We have a whole industry.
I mean, if you're a lawyer, you got to say that. So I'm not throwing shade at the lawyer. You're doing your job, but it sounds dumb as hell out in the airwaves. Don't sound so smart. Bankman-Fried was arrested in the Bahamas in December 22 and eventually booked with 13 counts of criminal charges, many referencing defrauding customers and bank fraud linked to the eventual collapse of the FTX exchange. He was promptly expedited to the United States on 8 charges of fraud and money laundering, with more charges added as investigations uncovered more evidence. This guy got it soft. He was additionally charged with allegedly bribing one or more Chinese officials with $40 million on March 28th, specifically that SBF directed and caused the transfer of at least approximately $40 million in cryptocurrency intended for the benefit of one or more of his Chinese government officials, according to the docket. SBF stole FTX customer deposits and used billions of dollars in stolen funds for a variety of purposes,
including campaign donations and all sorts of property purchases. Guys, no, he didn't intend to do this, by the way.
Yeah, it was an accident. I slipped on wet cement. Yeah. And that's how I built this building. I slipped. Bankman-Fried has pled not guilty on all accounts. Prosecutors have until May 29th, which is coming up. 29th is We got 3 more Mondays, and then it'll be the 29th. And hearing for dismissal on June 15th. So we'll
the
see.
courts better be laughing. Ha! No.
Well,
we're adding
if
charges.
it depends if any of this alleged bribing continues. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe he pays off the right people.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. We have Gundy saying SBF is either unalived by now or in protective military custody. We'll see.
Mom and dad's house, according to the news.
Yeah, chilling with the Clintons, no biggie. No biggie fry, baby. So, crypto slate. Binance moves bankrupt Voyager and FTX tokens to the innovation zone. So Binance CEO CZ explained that the exchange moved those tokens to its innovation zone instead of delisting them. So we'll see why.
Mm-hmm.
No, thanks.
Building.
Crypto exchange Binance has moved the native tokens of bankrupt crypto firms Voyager and FTX to its innovation zone. According to a May 10th statement, the exchange moved them alongside 16 other struggling digital assets like Jasmy Coin, OMG Network, WazirX, Serum, and OX, which looks like hardcore oats.
Oaks.
Yeah. I mean, if you like your oats in the morning and you like hardcore, you'll love oaks. Sorry, that's stupid. Binance CEO CZ explained that the exchange moved these tokens to its innovation zone instead of directly delisting them. According to CZ, the new step was based on suggestions from a community member suggesting that Binance move failing projects to its innovation zone before delisting them. If they still don't improve, we may delist. That's cool. I mean, I like that he's not trigger happy about delisting. It's a pretty big deal to if you're delisting, you're publicly announcing this is literal crap now. It's a dead project. Yep. We won't even touch it.
Yeah, and when they do something egregious, Binance has the tradition of delisting. So let's say Helium token was one of those where there were irregularities in the token itself, so they delisted them right out the gate, and they didn't care if people were complaining. You could see it was a good move in the end.
It was a good move. Mm-hmm. So Binance said its innovation zone was designed to provide users with a platform to trade innovative projects with higher volatility and risks than other tokens. That's cool. I mean, yeah, you're basically saying it's just the high risk casino. Makes sense.
Absolutely. It's like the shit. What's it called? The pink slips?
Stocks.
Penny stocks. Yes.
Pink slips is when you trade cars.
That's true. So
yeah. So if you win this race, you get my Lamborghini Gallardo.
Yeah. These are kind of like the over-the-counter in traditional in penny stocks. So,
and I get your V8 Prius. It's mine.
Junk bonds.
The exchange continued that it would periodically review and identify projects that fit these criteria, adding that they could be moved to its main platform after closely monitoring their development. This is the right move. This is great. Mm-hmm. Because you're not like you're you're at least like softening the blow of like, you shouldn't be out in the general public yet.
Like, right. And you may be wondering why FTT though, because FTT was the scam coin for Sam Bankman-Fried. Well, if you look at what I always forget the guy's name, the CEO that did manage and run out of the scam. He's now managing FTX stateside and realized, shit, this is a complete scam. But
was it Jeffrey Skilling?
No, I think that's the scammer. The third, but we'll get his name. The point is the following.
John Ray the third. Thank you.
That's him. Yes.
Johnny Ray.
Yeah. So he's a good guy. He's the guy, he comes in to repair or unravel scams. He did it for Enron. He's now doing it for FTX. The FTT, he said, guys, stateside, we can turn this engine back on. So there is an opportunity, of course, not with SBF involved at all, him and his team being able to flip this on. Of course, the courts and everyone like, no, hold off. But that door is still open for the possibilities of it. So why kill a coin when there is a chance the investors and could recover some of their value. And FTT is one of the assets that could retain value that the courts could use to recover and repay debtors or investors, and also the client customers that had their tokens inside FTX. That's our guy right there.
Yeah, John Ray III looks like he'd break your legs and bury your foot.
Yeah. And he even said
yeah,
when he opened the case, he's like, Enron was nothing compared to how scammy this happened, the fraud level he saw with FTX. So, but yet he still said after auditing, we can still recover the state side and turn it back on so we can generate revenue and repay everyone.
Yeah, I think as long as it's completely under new management, that's totally fine. It can't be under the same management because that shit was crazy.
Like, yes, and it's a trustworthy guy like this guy who has experience clearing scams and recovering funds. That would be someone to entrust to bring this back up. And FTT is one of those assets. So it's leaving the door open. This move to the innovation zone is leaving the door open to be able to have liquidity in this market for the investors. Because Voyager itself was another victim of this whole scam. That was also moved. So it's almost like putting it in a area. If you delist it, it's dead. But if you put it in the innovation zone, it still has chances where you can reach out to it and regain capital. So well done.
But you're also preventing the general noob from thinking that it's a sure bet. Is the other part too?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. I mean, how many people have like first gotten into crypto and you jump on, you're like, so I got on because of Bitcoin, or I got on because of Ethereum. What the hell is, all these other things? Like, should I care about them? Are they relevant? I don't know. Some of them are up a lot today. Some of them are down a lot today. Like, is this good? Is this bad? Like, and so it's helpful to kind of cut through that noise at least and have some very, very, very speculative matters out of the way.
Absolutely. We should remain children of the corn forever. And then if you want to speculate on anything else outside of that, that's on you with your risks. Well, do your homework.
That was a corny analogy. What am I going to do? So we'll see what happens. I think at very least the general public should be made as whole as possible. I think it's fine they turn it back on. It just really needs to be under high scrutiny. So, but Gundy showing us some love here, saying hit them likes, baby. If you don't mind, hit the likes.
We appreciate
best
that.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Are there other Monday, Wednesday, Friday crypto content? If there are, I don't know who they are, but shout outs. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we do it for everyone, guys. All the builders.
Mr. Wonderful talked about relaunching FTX and helping run it right when FTX fell.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Wonderful can figure out how to help. Maybe.
Yeah, and should put his money where his mouth is. He lost $15 million that was owed to him once FTX fell. So of course he would say something like that. But I don't know if I would trust him to run it, because then he goes in before Congress and does the beta male move of, oh, it was because these guys, Binance called us out in this shit coin with the FTT, and that's what triggered it. It's like, nah, man. Build it because it's worth building, not because you blame someone else for your own failures.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, blood.
Yeah.
No one.
I'd rather Ray run it, honestly, because one of his track record is he has successfully recovered assets from fraud.
Yeah. Some news about, are we at the bottom of the bear market yet? That's a good question. This is the type of stuff you want to see. Bitcoin spot trading volume falls to the lowest level since 2019. Low volume means paper hands are folding. Hands are folding, baby. They're folding. People are falling out of hype, which means that's when the whales really are getting close to these key levels, and I'd say pay attention. Don't fall asleep on what's happening here. So let's read this real quick. So
Is there an article?
There, yeah, right. So the volume of all BTC pairs in BTC on exchanges fell in April to one of the lowest levels for years. Okay. The total volume was 6.36 million Bitcoin in terms of spot trading volume. And so, according to the block, the last time it was this low was September 2019. So 2019 was pre the last bull run. Okay. Posting 6.26 million BTC in the depths of the bear market. So, do you see that? 6.26 million was the depths of last bear market, and our total volume is flirting with that number, 6.36, right? So this is good. This is really good for people who are paying attention, because it means if you're scooping up bags right now, especially with your DCA, it's going to feel right when we get into this big bad bull market. This is a symptom of an illiquid market, which has been covered extensively. The more illiquid the market is, the bigger the price jumps can be to both up and downside. Because here's the deal. When you have lower volume, you have less money required to significantly whale up or down. Right? So I think this is good news for anyone who's paying attention right now.
Absolutely. It's usually a sign of what's coming.
It's a sign of what's coming.
Yeah, it's usually the bottom. You'll see this symptom as a bottom, confirmation of bottom.
And Indo saying he's going to slap our peaches or something.
Peachy poo.
That's nice. The internet wiggle jiggled. I'm still here. I'm still here.
Keep it going, bro. Keep it going.
Oh my goodness. So Litecoin reaches a new all-time high, and the reason's puzzling. So let's look at this. And man, this website's not responsive. There you go. Litecoin has recently set a new all-time high in daily transactions. So use case is increasing, with over 579,000 transactions occurring yesterday, suggests into the block's data. The milestone is particularly intriguing, as Litecoin's daily transactions are now nearing those of Bitcoin, which had 598,000 transactions on the same day. The surge in transactions has also been accompanied by a new all-time high for new and active Litecoin addresses. So, what's causing this, you might ask? So this puzzling development in the Litecoin ecosystem, BRC20 tokens flooding into Litecoin's LTC20. So far, over 804.
You're still here?
Okay.
Yeah, we're losing you, so I think.
Why?
Yeah.
It's okay. I have a load balancer coming this week, so I promise this won't be a thing anymore. So this puzzling development.
Go ahead.
Well, it's a little stormy.
You're rugging, situation. They say. Indo says you're rugging us.
I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare. So really, here's the big idea, though. Taproot gave BRC20 tokens the ability. Now Bitcoin can basically have, Bitcoin can have NFTs, and now Litecoin also has Taproot, so Litecoin can have NFTs. And there's over 840 of these, proving that people are actually adopting it. It's becoming a pattern, and so, in my opinion, this is the best thing for Litecoin. It's got a new use case. Look at Ethereum. Remember, Ethereum had its coin. It was able to be moved around for money, and they also added smart contracts. That's what made it different from Bitcoin. But everyone who was there when they allowed the tokens to be made, and then after that, when NFTs were able to be made, you saw insane use case. The price went super high because people were using it for application development now. It wasn't just money. Mm-hmm. And so this is happening on Litecoin, and very convenient timing for Litecoin, because with the halving about to happen, I think this is a lot of bullish news around Litecoin. So, also, I think a lot of us should seriously look into LTC20 tokens. We should look into minting our own. We should look into what projects exist there, because maybe there's some legit stuff. I'll be doing my homework on that. So, and I'll share my findings.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Despite these impressive milestones, Litecoin's price performance has not mirrored the increased activity on its network. Since mid-April, the value of Litecoin has dropped by 22%. However, the cryptocurrency has maintained sideways movement, showing no sign of a significant downtrend. In the longer term, Litecoin appears to be following an upward trajectory. The recent surge in Litecoin transactions and active addresses is a noteworthy development, but its cause remains uncertain. The influx of LTC20 tokens might be a factor, but the exact relationship between the increased activity and the token creation is not clear. Market participants and analysts will be keeping a close eye on this phenomenon to better understand its implications for the future of Litecoin. The recent milestones reached by Litecoin are a testament to growing interests in cryptocurrencies and rapid developments taking place in the space. Whether this uptick in transactions and active addresses will translate to higher value for Litecoin in the long run remains to be seen. So, why hasn't affected the price action just yet? I think it's because we're in a bear market. I think if we were in a bull market, this type of news would cause it to rip on us. Really, that's what would happen. But we're in a bear market, and people are sleeping on LTC, and I think
the odds are in your favor, really. All right, Brandon. All right, Data Lord. The odds are in our favor.
They are. I am a robot, by the way, and sometimes I get DDoSed. It happens. As a robot, it happens. So, concerning overbanking crisis reaches levels unseen since 2008. So, according to a recent poll from Gallup, nearly half of Americans are concerned about the safety of their money deposited with banks. And I'd say everyone here is at least aware. Not the banks. The banks. And that's why we are a dirty shovel. Public opinions of banks appear to be dwindling according to an April survey, as the industry struggles to contain the collapse of several high-profile financial institutions in recent months. A Gallup poll conducted across the United States in April, one of them said that they were concerned about their money in the bank, and almost 20% have indicated they were very concerned. So, I mean, people in Latin American countries have already been through.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't put my money in the bank anymore.
Yeah, they don't. They really don't. They'd rather put it to work and in their businesses and deal with cash if possible.
And they do. So I think it's cool. Banks served a purpose for a while, and they really did provide value. But like, we've had so much technology innovation that I don't know that they have the same corner of the market they used to. Right? Banks are, they for a while made it so you didn't have to carry money on your person. You could just write a check. And I remember being a kid, my mom was at the grocery store. She would always write checks. She'd never had cash on her. And debit cards came out. People started using that. But at this point in time, we have so many other solutions, so many other options besides a credit card that comes with, interest and all these other things. I don't know that there's a need for that anymore. We have better patterns, right? Like, if I can go peer to peer, if I don't have to have like a middleman processing my transactions, that's way more ideal.
Yeah, and that makes it affordable for low income, where buying a bicycle and you're paying $15 fee just so you can haul something from one village to another. Bitcoin has made it possible, versus the bank makes it impossible because it's not profitable enough for them to support an individual of those at that level in life. So the community is the financial, the business, small business, micro businesses win with this new industry that's spawned by Bitcoin.
Yeah, and so what service do banks have besides just, you know, the ability to not have to keep cash in your person? You can use cashless systems. Well, banks also do loans, and so I think really banks are going to predominantly just be lenders with certain terms and certain
Keep in mind, DeFi
guarantees.
is working towards that also in the crypto space.
The
DeFi.
thing that DeFi doesn't have is government guarantees.
Correct.
Banks do have government guarantees. So I think as far as you can throw that, do you care what the government guarantees? Do you care what a company guarantees? Do you care what a platform or smart contract can guarantee? It's only as good as what it's backed by, right? And so yeah, I guess if money printer go burr, you can back anything you want.
Absolutely. And now we're paying for the burr.
But money printer go burr. It should be noted, however, that the poll was conducted after the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, but before the First Republic Bank failed in late April. Gallup concluded that the level of worry was on par with that measured during the last bank-induced financial crisis in 2008, when financial institutions previously believed to be too big to fail collapsed. And Bitcoin exists because of too big to fail, right? So this whole attitude of some things are too big to fail and we have to bail them out really creates a animal farm structure where some, look, we're all equal, but some are more equal, right? And it's like, no, if my small business has the ability to completely go flat, then this big business has the ability to completely go flat. And if it
let the market decide what survives.
If it would fall on too many people, like I'm sympathetic to that, but at the same time, you're enabling this type of behavior to continue. If there's precedent that one company gets bailed out, the rest of them can behave poorly. It's like if you have a bunch of kids in a class and one kid gets detention for not behaving, but then the teacher lets him off, every other kid's going to misbehave because there's no teeth in that argument anymore. Like there's no reason for the kids to behave because there's no actual penalty if you don't. So yeah, I call shenanigans on this. The latest readings are similar to those in 2008. In September of that year, shortly after the collapse of the Lehman Brothers, which remains the largest bankruptcy filing in U.S. history. And people today are like, hold my beer, watch this.
Yep. They're bigger.
Yeah. So hundreds of American banks are at risk. Meanwhile, experts at the Hoover Institution think tank postulate, I'm postulating, that if half of all uninsured savers withdrew all of their cash, only half, 186 American banks would be at potential risk of impairment. So if there was a bank run and even half of the people who use these institutions, over 186 American banks would just go flat. They couldn't give them cash because they're stretched that thin. They've done fractional lending this far out that they can't even support half.
Yeah,
that's bad. That's bad money.
Very bad. All you need is that house of cards, the bottom rung or something, and it's all done.
Yeah. These banks have a total assets of $300 billion, but represent less than 5% of the estimated 4,135 FDIC insured commercial banks in the United States. Furthermore, according to reports, California-based PacWest, Arizona Western Alliance, and Memphis-based First Horizon hang in the balance following a share price slump last week. A more damning report emerged from the UK's Telegraph earlier this month, suggesting that half of the banks in America could be insolvent. So they're suggesting half the banks might not actually be backed by good money policy. So this could be much more impactful than the smaller number of 186, right? It cited research published in April by Stanford University Bank expert Amit Saru, who estimated that more than 2,315 U.S. banks are currently sitting on assets worth less than their liabilities. And so, like, that's kind of how this thing works. Like, when you take out a loan and you have a car, and you don't pay it, and they repossess your car, that car is what's backing that loan. So if you don't pay them back, they're de-risked in part. But what they're saying is, like, the majority of their assets are actually worth less than their liabilities. So they're not in a very favorable position. The U.S. banking system's market value of assets is $2.2 trillion lower than suggested by their book value of assets, accounting for loan portfolios held to maturity, he said. So this is good news for Bitcoin, I think. It's increasing the use case viability. Because for a while, I remember people's pushback on why would I use Bitcoin? Their issue was like, well, Bitcoin has transaction fees, and I could just use my debit card, and it doesn't have transaction fees. So why would I use Bitcoin in that case? But now we're seeing real use cases of like, hey, well, Lightning Network is making the transaction value or the transaction fees go lower. So that's helping to mitigate that issue, right? We have other cryptocurrencies that are also proof of work backed, like, Litecoin, for example. And those can certainly be used in the case for like quick, transactional. I'm at a garage sale, I'm buying, a 80s hair metal wig kind of thing, as one does. And yeah, we're going to see the price of cryptos stabilize in years to come as more people are in it and actually using it. People stop caring so much what the price is. Traders are a smaller fraction right now. It's very speculative. So the majority of people who own it are intending to trade it. They're not intending to transact it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the use case is really going to change, I think. And so this is good news for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was made for such a crisis as this, right?
Precisely due to the last crisis. And now we're at the hell's gates again. And we've seen every single failure of the bank, Bitcoin runs up. All we need is another batch to come in, and we should see newer highs.
Agreed. And
at least local highs.
Yeah, and I'm flying by this just because we're near the end of the show, but Bitcoin tends to become more volatile around monthly U.S. inflation releases. So we have already seen this happen. So Bitcoin should become more and more volatile to the upside or to the downside. And either way, I think we need to pay attention to what the real use case is of Bitcoin and recognize that it really is categorically different than the rest of the options out there. So whenever the price does go down, not financial advice, but I'm scooping some bags. So I have quite a bit of USD poo coin on the side, ready to be cashed into to Bitcoin once we do see some movements, with competitive price action. So be paying attention to the volatility, because the headline CPI inflation figure is a forecast to stay unchanged at 5%, and the core figure, which excludes the volatile food and energy component, is forecast to have increased by 5.5% following March's 5.6% increase, according to Reuters' estimate. So Bitcoin has historically seen increased intraday volatility in the 6-hour window before and after the inflation data, according to a research analyst at Paris-based crypto data provider Kaiko. So pay attention to this. We basically have the conditions necessary for higher volatility, and at the bottom of a bear market, I'm not surprised to see that. So prepare thine loins. The scoopening is approaching.
It's coming, guys.
Yeah, it is. So thank you so much for joining me here on Hump Day.
Hump!
No one calls it. Stop that.
Let's go.
Sorry for the robot issues. Again, my
point to
my
point
load balancer will be set up this week, and
nice.
I'm excited about that because I don't want to hurt you. I want to treat you right. Of course, I want to treat you right.
Stay engaged, guys.
Yeah. I mean,
We will see you Friday, and we'll be ready for the weekend. Give you the update. Bitcoin should show us the direction she wants to go, and all we do is react to it. And stop calling it hump day. Listen to the Beagle. Beagle knows.
Thank you for joining us here on Decentralized TV, Crypto and Coffee. I'm Daedalus. This is Jaime. Until next time, keep calm and huddle on. And we're just going to be awkward, and we're going to dance with y'all.
Let's go.
Ooh. What is that?